Hey, I'm Lee, and this is 805 Jive. We're from Nashville, Tennessee, and we're rocking it out in Chattanooga today.
What we love about living in Nashville is there's musicians everywhere. All our friends are musicians or music fans or somehow involved in the business. And it just pulls together. It feels like a big family. It's a small town. We all know each other. And if you need a guitar player, ask your waiter.
We're almost done with our first album. It's going to be called Too Many Men. We're going to put it out on vinyl and CD is the goal right now. We're putting all the artwork together at the moment, and we're hoping that it'll be out probably by the end of August.
A typical gig for us can be a lot of different things. It could be dance clubs, bars. We've had a recurring gig for a while playing a private dance club where it's basically swing lessons and then about 2 hours of nothing but jump, jive, and a great swinging time. We also play weddings. I mean, kind of pretty much bar mitzvahs. Anything that anybody wants a jive band for, we're gonna be there.
Retirement parties.
A lot of blues clubs.
Car dealership openings.
I'm Lee Shropshire, and I've lived in Nashville for almost 20 years. I'm hailing from Toronto, which is also a great music town. Lots of blues and jazz in Toronto. I started my music career there and thereabouts in Peterborough, Ontario, singing in jazz bands and cabaret acts and musicals. And I one day picked myself up and drove down to Memphis, where I stayed for about a week with a friend of mine who's a blues guitarist down there, and I'd stopped in Nashville on my way down and really enjoyed it. So after a week I decided that I thought I'd like Nashville a little more than I liked Memphis, and I moved there not really knowing anybody and settled in and just created a great life there. And it's been in the last number of years that I've put down music for a little while and did some other really great things. But I picked it back up about 5 or 6 years ago with my husband Andy, and we decided that we'd start a band that plays music that's close to our hearts. So we really enjoy jump jive music, and it's got elements of jazz and blues and early rock and roll and all kinds of things pulled together. We like to play the stuff that you wouldn't really hear on mainstream radio. We like to be a little out there with our selections and play more things that you might hear at speakeasies or after hours clubs, that things that people really had a great time to, and was it was a no-brainer to just get your shoes on the floor and start twisting and jiving and dancing and having a really good time. So we like that uplifting aspect of the kind of music that we play, and we hope it's infectious.
I'm Bill Boyce. I play bass in the band. I sort of help out on the production on the new record. I moved to Nashville to play with a country band, and we did pretty well for a while, and then the flood of 2010 sort of ruined our circuit for a while. And then I fell into the blues scene, loved it, and then I met these guys, and it's just sort of worked ever since then. This guy's a bit of a pain in the butt, but everyone else is really nice.
Always a horn player. Always a horn player.
No.
My name is Patrick Mosser, and I've been in Nashville about a year and a half. I'm the new guy in town. Originally, I was going to be a classical player. I studied classical music for 15 years before going to college to pursue a performance degree in classical saxophone. My aunt actually turned me on to the idea of Nashville, who is Joan L. Mosser, those of you who might know. She brought me down to Nashville and actually introduced me to this guy right here on the first night in Nashville at a public jam session. Little did I know that 8 months later I was going to get a phone call from this guy right here and say, hey, I got a gig for you. I ended up subbing in with 805 Jive. I loved it. It was one of the best experiences I ever had. And about 3 weeks later they asked me to join the team permanently. So I'm just along for the ride right now, man. It's great.
It didn't even take the 3 weeks. Literally the first time we rehearsed with him, we said, he's in the band. He's got to be in the band.
We didn't tell him for a while.
We did.
No, they wanted to make me sweat, which is not hard to do.
Hi, my name's Duane Spencer. I'm the drummer in the band. I've been in Nashville about 5 years now. I met Andy and Lee through friends and actually saw them playing at a great place in Nashville called Brown's Diner. And of course I just kind of went up and sat in with them playing some bongos, and when I was done we kind of looked at each other and said, hey, you want to keep doing this, you know? And I said, yeah, I think this might be a really cool idea. So I've been with them now about 1.5 years, and it's really been fun. It's been growing, meeting new people, and I guess one of the things that is unique about what I'm doing with the band is I play what's called a cocktail kit, which is it's a stand-up set of drums instead of the full array of drums that you see most people playing. You stand up at them, and the bass drum is on the bottom of the tom-tom, and then everything's on that rack, you know, and it sets up and breaks down in about 5 minutes. So I'm out of there at
faster
the end of the
than
gig.
me, which is saying a lot, because all I got to do is put a cap on.
Yeah.
He's gone as soon as he gets paid.
That's it. Sometimes before I found.
Oh, we got money for this?
I'm Andy Shyman. I'm the guitar player in the band. I've been in Nashville for almost 20 years as well, and Lee and I have been together for pretty well the whole time that we've been in Nashville. We met in Nashville. I'm originally from New York and played in the post-punk scene in New York for a long time, and then spent a lot of time in the Americana world. I had moved to New England before I came to Nashville, and you know, just kind of toured the whole folk music scene up there. Came down to Nashville to do the Americana scene, and that lasted for so long, and kind of dropped out of, you know, the performance aspect of things for maybe 3 or 4 years when Lee and I decided, let's get this thing rolling. And we had listened to a radio show on Vanderbilt's radio station. For many years there was a show on Friday mornings called Nashville Jumps. So we gathered a lot of material for that. We put this together for about 5 years, just taping the show, trying to gather the material, and then when we felt like we were ready, we put the band together. It was a different configuration for a couple of years, and then slowly, first we got Duane involved, and then our bass player fell out, and Bill was the only person we wanted in the band. We just said immediately, we're like, God, I really hope that Bill will join the band. And we asked him, and he said yes, and then Bill brought us Patrick. So that's kind of the history of that.
Bill said you had me at beer.
Yes, that's true.
Wait, there's beer?
There's beer.
Yeah, to tell.
There's been a lot of beer, Patrick.
Well, we kind of decided to do a concept album after we had started recording and getting it done. So the theme of the album is this gal is losing her guy, and it's kind of upsetting her, so then she goes out with a friend of hers and gets kind of trashed, and then tries to get the guy back, and then realizes she doesn't want anything to do with him any longer. So then she really goes out and gets trashed, and she does some very debaucherous things, and winds up with all the wrong guys, some very too young guys. She gets some, you know.
Hey, you got that wrong. No.
She's, well, she didn't necessarily go with the guy, but they were coming after her.
That's correct.
And
As well they should.
a few of the guys might have had some possible STDs. Anyway, in the end of the story, she goes to this marketplace, and she meets her true love, and that's how it all ends.
Way to give away the ending of the story.
Well, you really have to hear the music now, right? You have to hear all the music. So, you know, we've got a couple of originals on the album, and the other stuff is just some songs that we pulled from that we just really dug playing, and you know, they're a lot of fun, a lot of upbeat tunes, and that's pretty much it.
It's all a true story. I'm Lee Shropshire, we're 805 Jive, and I've got too many men.
3, 4, ba-do-da-ba-ba-do-da-la.